where you were hosting the Grammys, and Jack Nicholson was presenting Bob Dylan with the Lifetime Achievement Award, and Bob Dylan played a song that no one could identify, and and Jack, you brought him to the podium, and Jack was sort of in his time zone and a little stilted, and then Dylan takes the podium, takes the mic, and Jack's standing next to him, and there's a long pause. Like awkwardly long pause, and then Dylan says, "Well, it's just like my father always told me," and then another really long pause, and then he goes, "Yeah, he said a lot of things," and then another long pause, and then he thanks the people and he walks off, and then they go to commercial, and you come back on and say, Jack Nicholson and Bob Dylan are back. I just overheard them backstage talking about how they wanted to do more television. It was to me it was so hilarious.
Hopefully, I would say in hindsight, knowing them both now, knowing them both personally, by the way, and having to, in fact, explain that it wasn't an attack to one of them, because how can you love any more than you would love those two guys?
That's right.
Absolutely right on the line of.
But that's a risk that happens.
They're so completely authentic, that. I think the audience felt something that needed to be commented on, or it would be in denial itself. And that is a way, if I'm not mistaken, of doing it without really saying anything negative about those guys. It was just true in the moment.
But also, but television in itself as a medium it undermines authenticity. It doesn't require authenticity, and for you to find it with Larry Sanders or with other.
Because I agree with you. I think even the reality shows, as we all know, are mediated.
That's right. The only time
cut and edited.
The only time you see authenticity is like when someone's being taken away in handcuffs. And they're going, "Dad, fuck you, that bitch did it again." It's like, that's a real moment. Or when even...
I used to do a bit about that, where that person then turns and winks to the camera.
they
because they still know they're on camera.
And I think that, like, in getting back...
Why do criminals put a jacket over their head when there's a television camera covering them? That means you don't need a gun in your house. You just need a TV camera. But what? Run with a sheet over their head and go, "I don't want anyone to see me publicly
I got
until I've worked it out."
That's true. I'm
just working on it. Give me a second.
So I think your statement was about television, not about those individuals.
I love those guys that are authentic and sort of rebellious, and they may have issues to deal with.
But, sure. But it is the human spirit, and it is raw.
That's right.
So, and raw human spirit is good. It may be developing into something. It may level off eventually, but it might not. So you have a relationship with those guys now. I mean, you've been around a while. So yeah. And like Dylan as a human being is completely fascinating and utterly self-aware of what he puts out there in a way.
Well, he's utterly fascinating, and he's masterfully deserving of his privacy. Which will prevent me from saying anything more than how much I admire him, which is true.
No, I find him amazing. You know what else I find amazing about him is that he keeps working, and that he loves to work, apparently. That he lives on stage. Do you fight with that at all? The desire to get on stage or not get on stage?